Hi, how are you? So welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new, my name is Marietta, and on today's vlog I want to share my story about endometriosis. So previously I had explained what endometriosis is. I'd shared part of my story through endometriosis, and I had promised that I will share another vlog of endometriosis. So this is my second part 2. Actually, this is part 2 of my endometriosis journey. So answer, so 2015, yes, that is when I realized I had this condition, this endometriosis thing. Yeah, cause haikuwa geni vile, cause I had heard a story of a lady, and I know you know the lady. Her name is Njambiko Ikai. Kila mtu anamjua. She's a radio presenter somewhere in this Nairobi of ours, in a station here in Kenya. And her story had gone viral because her condition was worse than even mine. Hers was in stage 4. And you see, when you hear something it is in its last stage, it is very dangerous. So mine was in stage 3 then. Yeah, so stage 3, it's not similar as stage. There is a difference actually between stage 3 and 4. So mine was in stage 3, and my experience was getting worse with time, because previously, before nijue niko na hiyo condition, nilikuwa naumwa, but I didn't know because I used to be given some dawas. Daktari alikuwa anashinda akiniambia, wewe uko na shida ya gas, kunywa hizi dawa. So I used to take antacids and a lot of painkillers, na mimi nakunywa, lakini uchungu ilikuwa ina disappear. So I used to overdose painkillers mostly. So vile niliendaka hospitali, daktari akaniambia niko na endometriosis, my life took another turn. So I was given some other prescription that zilikuwa zinaendana na ugonjwa wangu. So nikaanza kuchukua dawa, kukunywa hizo dawa za endometriosis, that is za kubalance hormones. So vile nilizikunywa kwa muda wa miaka 2, in 2017 mambo ikabadilika. So sikuwa naweza kutembea, I was not even walking. So walking was a problem, going to the toilet was a problem, eating was a problem, because you are imagining that you're going to eat and the time for going to the toilet, whether to sus or to poop, ulikuwa una expect to feel a lot of pain. So the pain was there. I became thin. I cut a lot of weight during that time because I was a bit plump. But then vile sasa condition iliworsen, nikaanza kucut weight juu I was fearing to eat, because one thing when you eat, ukimagine kwenda toilet, actually the pain that you ulikuwa una experience ukienda choo. So I opted to not to eat. So most of the time I was taking uji, because I loved uji. I love porridge, so I used to take porridge a lot. So that is pain. Pain was the only thing, but it was also quite a tough time for me. So I went to the hospital that I had visited this big hospital. So the only option that I was left with was Aga Khan. So I took a step. I visited Aga Khan with the previous report from the different hospitals that I had visited. I went, I showed the doctor the reports. So my doctor then was Dr. Johnston Miheso. He's the one who attended me, and I thank him because he's such a nice guy. So He told me, young girl, if oh, at all these other doctors saw the same thing, who am I to rule out that you don't have this thing? Because first, my sister, I went to the fourth hospital and they told me I need to go for surgery, but my sister was hesitant. She had feared because she had a friend who had similar condition that like me. Oh, but she didn't manage. She died during the procedure. She died in theater during the procedure. So my sister had that fear that I might go in there and not come back alive. So that was the fear that my sister had. So she told me, let me ask my friend who is a doctor if you can help us, because going to theater is not something good. So me, I had just listened to my sister, but now you see, I am there. The pain is getting worse. So I opted to just go to Aga Khan. The doctor went through my reports and he told me I'm joking with my health. So he had to send me for another scan because I used to go for a scan after every 3 months to see the progress if the dawas are working. So nikatumwa lab, nikaenda nikafanyiwa scan. I brought back the report. Guess what? The cysts that were on both of my ovaries, they had grown larger, bigger in size. So the doctor just checked the report and told me, young girl, I know I'm not supposed to tell you, but you are really joking with your health. And what I can say is I'm booking you for an emergency theater, because I can see the pain that you're experiencing, and these things are now big than the way they used to be. They are growing bigger with time. So the only option that I can help you with, I'm booking for you at an emergency theater. So I remember that was on Tuesday 29th of March 2017. Can you imagine? So on 30th, the doctor told me I should go back to the hospital, the nurses to prepare me on whatever was going to happen, and I should also make calls to my relatives to inform them that I've been booked for theater, because you see, when you're going to theater, you have to have a guardian, somebody who is close to you also. So my sister, because she's like a mother, and I was staying at her place then, so she took me to the hospital, and I'm thankful to her. She knows herself. So I went with her during the operation. So I called my parents, my sisters, and I informed them. So on that day of going to theater, I came with my big sister. She's like my mom. So we stayed there the whole day because I was booked theater at 11 a.m. and I had been advised not to eat anything for like 12 hours prior the operation. So I did that, but I was not lucky. So when I arrived at the hospital at around 9:30, because you see, there is some forms that you're supposed to fill. So we had gone earlier with my sister to fill those forms. And now, something bad, the money that was in my card was not enough. So luckily, when we were at the parking place, there in Aga Khan, so we saw the car for the insurance company that I was having. So my sister went and talked to that lady, and the lady told us, it is okay, I know what to do. So then the lady stepped in, she helped us, and I went in for theater. Imagine, it was just an angel. Somebody, God sent me an angel then, because you see, if it was not that, it was not for that lady, I would have paid cash, because the money that was in my insurance card was not enough. So I was to add more. But you just take your patient to theater. I know what to solve. I wish I knew that lady. I could have thanked her. So then another thing, that morning, some two people were brought in for an emergency. I was told I have to wait for the other two to be operated on. So I stayed in the queue, waiting for two more patients to be operated so that I can go. So by the time I was going to theater, was at around 5 p.m. So I went to theater 5. I was called at 5, so I changed and then I went to theater. So I was injected the dawa over here. Then the doctor told me, wasikiza tu tukipiga story ndio utashtukia tu ulishalala. So I was listening to their story, but so, and before, the doctor had told me if I would want a record of whatever was going inside, whatever was going on about the operation. So they recorded it, but with my carelessness, I lost that flash. Yeah, I lost my flash when I was moving, and I don't know. So they recorded, yes. So me, I fell asleep. They operated on me during the whole process. They recorded, and the next thing, nilijipata wapi? Kwa recovery room, because I was breathing through the oxygen machine. So I was being slapped because I had overslept. Because one thing that made me oversleep is because I stayed more than 24 hours. Actually, I stayed more than 24 hours without food. My immune system was weak, so that is why I slept. I overstayed in that sleep. Then I was discharged the same night. So my brother-in-law came for us, and we went home. So I was given 2 weeks bed rest, so that I can return and so that I can resume my classes. Yeah, so that has been it. Oh, that was it actually. Sorry. After the operation, the doctor advised me if I can get pregnant, because now my tubes were unblocked. But I wasn't ready that time, because I don't know. I wasn't ready that time. So 2017 passed. So I was going for some checkups, for some dawas, and there is this lady after the operation, after a few days. So I was to go back for checkup, the doctor to see the progress of the wounds. So I went, and I was given a prescription of another medicine called Lupride. Yeah. So the medicine that is called Lupride, it is to prevent you from getting cancer. So, and it is kept on a refrigerator. Once it is gotten out of the refrigerator, you're supposed to be injected directly without delay. So there is this nurse from Aga Khan. She was very careless. So the time that she was taking the dawa out to inject me, the bottle fell down. So I was not being injected the whole dawa. So she injected me the little dawa that was left in the bottle. And because she was afraid, because that dawa was expensive, the only that small bottle was 23,000 Kenyan shilling, and she didn't have money, so she was shocked. And then I was naive, I didn't complain. So she injected the dawa direct to my tummy. Direct, yes. And now hiyo sindano yenye ilikuwa inatumika, it was too big, it was so long and big, so it was being injected direct to my tummy. So my tummy got swollen one side. It was swollen for a week, and I don't know it's the side effect of the dawa, or it is just because it fell. When you go to the pharmacy, you're being given the bottle with the ice cubes, so it is being kept in between ice cubes, and the moment that you're supposed to be administered, they are supposed to put the sindano direct when it is still in the ice cubes direct, and then they inject you where you're supposed to be injected. But now the nurse was very careless. The dawa fell, and whatever happened. So whatever was injected to was being administered in my body was half, and now at it another thing was it had fallen. Though she 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 begged me not, so I had to let go. Yeah, so I went on taking my medicine for some few months. Then I was told I'm okay, but 2018 was well. 2019, then another episode came. So I got pregnant in 2019. I had miscarriage. The first pregnancy was miscarriage. The other one was ectopic. The same year, because I remember I got miscarriage on March 2019. Then I stayed April, May, June, July, August, September again. I was told that I have ectopic. And then something funny, I didn't know when I was getting pregnant. You see, it's a funny, I don't know if I'm the only one who didn't recognize that I was pregnant. But there is a friend of mine who stayed for 5 good months without knowing she's pregnant. Yeah, so her belly was getting big with time, but one day her sister told her, you need to go to the hospital because nowadays your eating habits is way too much. And then the funny thing, she was seeing her period, and then again she's pregnant. Have you ever heard of a situation like that? Yeah, if you know I've had a similar condition, comment down below, because it is funny actually. So me, I didn't know that I was pregnant the first time and the second time. So the second time when I had ectopic, I thought my menses were coming because it is the exact day that I normally have menses. So I stayed in the house. My stomach started aching, but it was too painful. So I called my hubby. I informed him that I'm not feeling well, but then he had gone. He was not around. So I stayed in the house on my own. The pain was too much, so the only option, I had to call my sister, and I had to report to job that I was not feeling well. So I made a call. Then I called my sister. I told my sister, mi nakufia kwa nyumba, kindly come and help me. So my sister, because also she was going to work, she sent my brother who was in attachment. So my brother came to the house. He took me to the hospital. So my sister had sent my brother and a taxi. So I went to the hospital at Marie Immaculate Hospital. So I was sent for a scan. So I went and did a scan. Then they saw that I had ectopic pregnancy, and that the where the implantation was taking place, the baby had ruptured. So after going to the hospital at Marie Immaculate, So I was booked for another emergency. But I don't know. The doctors in that hospital even can't tell. I don't know. The doctors, some are good, but there is this doctor called Leon. I don't know if he's still there. Leon is another funny doctor. And because he knew who I was, because of some reason that I don't want to mention here. So Leon operated on me, but things didn't go the way I thought. So they were supposed to operate and remove the zygote. Remove the zygote that was in my tube that had ruptured. So after they operated on me, they told me that they are going to show me whatever had been removed out of my body. And then something funny, they had not told me that they have removed my ovary. Can you imagine? They told me after a week that I had no ovary because they had sent the report to the Metropolitan. So they were waiting for the feedback that was taking about, is it 1 week or 2 weeks? Then I went to collect the result. So that is when I knew that they had already cut my ovary. And during the whole time, they didn't tell me. Actually, Dr. Leon, wherever you are a wicked doctor. Because you see, you were supposed to tell me what the findings. Because a good doctor is a doctor who tells you everything instead of hiding things. So he hid everything. I knew during the follow-ups when I took the report to the gynecologist himself, because Dr. Leon is not a gynecologist. So the gynecologist read the report, is the one who told me everything. And then I requested that because they had told me they are going to show me whatever was being taken out of my body, they didn't show me. And that's how I learned that I don't have one ovary. Yeah, so I normally even fear for another C-section because I don't know what will happen. Because you see, Dr. Leon and the other doctor that was operating on me, they didn't tell me everything. They told me that they were going to take the tube. They told me that they are going to cut only the tube and they remove the baby. But little did I know that they cut also the ovary. The reason they said it was damaged, they were supposed to cut both of them. But the other one was not damaged as the other, the right one. So I didn't understand. Then after I visited another gynecologist sent me for another scan. And he told me that they were too hurried to judge because whatever the findings of the other scan was, that my ovary was healthy. So they told me they were so quick to remove the other ovary, which was not the case. But now it had already been taken out. What could I have done? Nothing. So at times I normally sit down when I feel the pain, because till to date I normally feel that pain. You see, I am having menses, but the problem is the side that doesn't have ovary is the one that pains me more than the one that has ovary. That is the funny thing. And another thing, after that operation of the ectopic, my back normally pains a lot. Hey, let me just tell you, my back normally pains me a lot, all thanks to Dr. Leon. One thing, you operate on me, You remove my ovary without my consent. Another thing, I don't know what you did to this other side, because till date I normally feel a lot of pain. I have asked several gynecologists that I've visited. They told me it should have not been that. The pain should have gone after some few months. But you see, from 2019 till 2022, I normally feel the pain each and every month when I'm having my menses. The pain is always there. At some point, the cramps on that side, they are severe. I can't do anything, so I have to let my husband go to work, come back home and play the wife's role because of the pain. Because I've never understood why, by the way, it normally pains me that much. Just comment down below or reach out to me, labda naweza pata usaidizi, because I've never understood, because the pain is too much. At some point it is unbearable. Kwanza, you see the back here at the back bone where I was injected the dawa, it is too painful. Yeah, all thanks to Dr. Leon at Mary Immaculate Hospital. And I remember during my recovery time after the operation, the doctor was coming to check me, and he was calling me VIP patient, because I had it is story for another day. Yeah, so he used to call me VIP patient because, you see, I'm at the hospital. I used to watch. Yeah, I had a laptop actually that I was watching from. When my phone goes off, I used to use a laptop. Yeah, a MacBook Pro. So the doctor used to come. When he's checking me, he's using some funny names there to refer to me that I'm a VIP patient, sijui nini. So have you ever had such an encounter? Have you ever been to hospital, been admitted, and have you ever had such an encounter like me? Because to me that was rude in the first place, because I'm a patient just like the other ones. Yeah, some carelessness of the doctor can lead you to a terrible, can lead to something terrible. Even I wish I never went to that hospital. I wish I just went to Aga Khan. It is better you spend a lot of money, you get good services, than to go somewhere you spend little money but you end up coming with other problems. You've gone to get assistance, but you're coming back with more problem. Because to me, it is another burden. Ever since 2019, I've carried another burden, because the pain is too much on this other side that was cut. Yes, it is funny, but I need answers. By the way, I normally need answers, because sijaielewa at all. Sijui, but all is well. So that has been my story. So I hope to see you in the next one. So bye, see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Yeah, so let us reach 200 subscribers. Kindly help me reach 200 subscribers, and I will really appreciate you as I bring more content on the table.